Well, hello, it's Karen. Hi, today's going to be something really simple, and it's actually by request that I am going to do this. Uh, I've got a young man that watches me, and like I said before, I am excited that young people think that I'm kind of funny and kind of fun. You know, it gets their attention. Well, made the comment that he likes sausage gravy. Well, who don't like sausage gravy? And you would think everybody knows how to make sausage gravy, but believe it or not, I was having a procedure done today, and we got on this subject, and I looked at all the girls and I said, "Who don't know how to make sausage gravy?" Believe it or not, one of them raised their hands. Well, I didn't laugh or giggle. I was like, "Well, it's pretty easy." So we're going to do this with this young man that wants some good old sausage gravy, and of course we know it goes delicious with biscuits. But it also goes good with other things. When I was growing up, sometimes we didn't have biscuits, but we had gravy left over. So I'm going to tell Tanner a couple good things he can also use it. He don't always have to have a biscuit. First thing I did, though, real quickly, and as you see, I don't know if you guys can see starburst coming in on me or not. That I would like to think that was God sending his blessings on me and an angel getting excited and watching me in the background, but it's not. It's just how the sun's shining, but that's all right. Anyway, we started out. Oh, I also have me a little cute, this is not really an apron. Actually, what this is, and I'll do this real quick, this is a dish towel. Just like this. I may gave 50 cents for it on clearance, and it's kind of cute. It's a Christmas one last year, and it says, "All my friends are flakes." Well, it's not nice, but it is kind of funny. So anyway, if you have a square one like this, make a triangle out of it. Make a triangle just like this. And I'm not overly thin, but I'm not overly hefty either. So I just wrapped that around me, and all I did was take a cheap old clothes hanger and I pinned it. So I'm not promoting Christmas early or anything like this. This is more of a little winter thing. Winter's coming on and we know that. And snow's coming on. And no, all my friends aren't flakes, but if they were, I'd love them the same. Okay, the first thing I did was I cooked up some sausage. And here's my sausage, okay? I'm not going to make a big thing of this. Just a small, but once you get the hang of it, you can make as little or as much as you want. Now, I went ahead and took that out of now this was fresh pork, so it didn't have a lot of fat, so I added my gold to it, some bacon grease on top of that, okay, to get some more grease, because with fresh pork, sometimes it don't have a lot of fat in it. Now, if you buy stuff at the stores, you don't have to worry about it. You'll have plenty. So anyway, I put it in this plate. You do not necessarily have to drain it, because we're going to put the grease right back in there, okay? This is one day we don't have to worry about draining grease or patting stuff. I also took me some flour, and I've got about a half a cup of flour here that I sifted. Everybody needs to go buy them a sifter of some kind. Here it is. The reason I sift it gets the lumps out of the flour, and it'll make a smoother gravy, okay? Everybody needs to go buy one of these. If you don't have one, go pick one up. Well worth it. So anyway, I sifted my flour. I don't have any seasonings in it yet. I got my sausage made. And now over here, I'm going to, first of all, we're using canned cream, or evaporated milk, canned milk. It used to be used for everything when I was a kid. Everything. Hot cocoa, made the best hot cocoa you ever tasted. So we got our canned cream here. We got our sausage ready. The main thing that's going on now is getting that grease hot. And I added, like I said, bacon grease to it. Normally I wouldn't have to, but I had the good sausage. I didn't have sausage that was just 100% full of fat. You started with the big patty, ended with a quarter size. So I've got me, and you want it to just kind of go all over the bottom with a little standing, okay? And like I said, I'm making a small, and you'll learn once you get the hang of it how big you want it, okay? So what we're going to do, this will, I can tell you right now, once this starts going to town, it's going to town, okay? So we're going to use a big tablespoon, and we're going to start out with a tablespoon of flour, and I'm talking a heaping, okay? We're not measuring. We're going to put that in the bottom, and it should, if it's ready, should start sizzling. I'm going to add just a little bit more, not a lot at this point. It's going to start sizzling, and this is what you're going to have. It's going to start sizzling here, okay? You're going to take that whisk, and you're going to whisk that around. We have yet to start putting, basically all you're going to put in this is salt and pepper, and this is one time it usually requires quite a bit of salt, okay, unless you have extremely salty bacon in this. So we're going to let this cook for a minute, just like this, and I'll show you what we want. Just be patient with it, because once it really starts going to town, it's going to go to town. So I'm going to go ahead and let you see this. See, it's turning brown. Beginning to get a little bit more thickness to this. Well, I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bits at a time of flour, okay? And we're going to start getting a little bit of a thickness to it at this point. A little bit at a time. Don't ask me how much I put in, because this is by trial and error. You don't want it's the piece of pasty that you've got one big glob of paste in the bottom of the pan. Now, it's beginning to get where I want it. See that little bit of thickness that's starting? That's just about, and it's got that brown to it. That's just about what we want. I'm going to go ahead, just for safe measure, add a little bit more. So what I'm saying, don't pour half a cup of flour in this right away. So now we're getting that thickness that I'm wanting to get here. See that? It's got that little brown to it. That's what we're looking for. We're not seasoning quite yet. I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to start pouring, not the whole thing, okay? We're just going to pour half of this in. Now, when you pour in, you're going to think, that's not going to do nothing. It will do something. Take your whisk and start in. And it's going to take a minute before it starts, but it will do something. And it really all depends on the individual. Now look at this. See what I'm talking about? It is doing something. We're going to run over here and we're going to get our cream. And I know, well, I need the whole thing, so we're going to use the whole thing in this one. And we're going to go ahead and start stirring. It might be a little lumpy. That's what you got your whisk for. Just start whisking away again. It will smooth out. Don't get frightened or scared at this point. Now, I know it's getting thicker, so at this point, I'm just going to show you. It might look a little lumpy. It's okay. That will get worked out. I'm going to go ahead and get about a half a can of water. Swish that around, because sometimes your cream stays in the bottom of the pan, or can. Especially if you get the sheet stuff, and that's exactly what I got. So far I've used a can and a half. I'm going to go ahead and pour some more water in this. And you're going to see all those lumps you see. And it's going to, you have to stir, 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 stir. And I don't want a real thick gravy that you have to spoon out with an ice cream scoop. And I don't want just a real thin gravy that you can think it's a milkshake you're drinking either. I want the perfect. What does that do? It takes experience. So I'm going to go ahead and use that whole can. See, there's some gooey on the bottom there that I want to get out of there. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more. And like I said, let me grab me a spoon really quick here. This cheaper evaporated milk, I made a mistake of buying, and usually I think the brand name is definitely the best. But just stir it up where it kind of went to the bottom. Now, I've used almost 2 cans of milk to this. And this is going to be just about the right consistency that I want this. Now, here comes the tricky spot. We're going to do some salt. Okay? This is definitely going to depend. I've got about a teaspoon of salt here. Now, gravy sometimes takes quite a bit to salt it. You have got to definitely taste it frequently. Don't just pour a bunch in it. You will get the taste of it that you need. Okay? So, let me get me some more spoons out here. It's almost there. I'm going to add just a little bit more, though. Just a little bit. Maybe a quarter of a teaspoon. Maybe just a quarter. And it's getting more thickened as I'm stirring it. To continue. Now look at this. I want you to look. Like that. So we're just stirring away. Gravy is always best. The best is just to use it the minute it comes out of the pan. But it's perfectly fine to put in a tight container and put it in the refrigerator and microwave it the next morning for a few minutes, a few seconds, and if you need to add some more milk to it, just go right ahead. We're going to use our taste. Really good. Perfect. Black powder, or black pepper, excuse me. Just about a quarter of a teaspoon black pepper. Some people like it, some don't. So they can always add to it. Now, see my gravy's bubbling? It's fine. Stir it some more. So this is the consistency that I like mine. See? It's the right consistency to put on stuff. Like I said, you don't want it so thick. You have to use an ice cream scoop to get it out. Now we're going to go ahead right now and add our sausage. Put that right in there like that. And if you think it's getting too thick, no problem. What do? Add a little bit more water to it. Okay? So here, can you see? Thick with our sausage in it. Now, I'm going to show Tanner something. You ain't got to, of course, we all like biscuit. And matter of fact, right now I'm turning this down on very low. And now this is optional. Again, but I always do it just a little tiny bit. I'm going to put maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Believe me, don't make fun of me. Just try it and put it in. Squish that around good. Believe me, just a little bit. Brings the flavors together for some reason. It really does. And if you don't want it, you certainly don't have it. And if you, like I said, if you see it's getting thicker than what you want it, add a little bit. If you've used cream, just add a little bit more water to it. Or if you have milk with smoke, pour in there. No big deal. So I've got this turned on at this point on very low. Now, I'm going to show Tanner a trick. When I was a kid, sometimes we didn't have biscuits, okay? And if we had gravy in the refrigerator, this is what I would do. So just give me a second and I'm going to show him a trick here. So don't let your mom throw the gravy out just because biscuits are gone, okay? One thing we used a lot of was just plain old white bread. Take light bread, break it up, put your gravy on top of it. So don't throw away your extra gravy just because biscuits are done. I'm going to show Tanner something that I used to do, and I always liked it a lot. And while that's cooling down, and this is, you'll get a little bit thicker as it cools too. So you might have to add a little bit more to it. Once you get the hang of gravy, then you'll figure it out. It's just, you got to kind of get the hang of it. If it's too thick, add more milk to it, little bits at a time. It'll thin down. Then when you get it to the consistency you want, just turn it on low and stir it a few times. You kind of want to make your gravy pretty quick to when you're wanting to use it, okay? All right, Tanner. I got to get me a knife real quick. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to take a piece of toast. We'll put some butter on that toast. Make sure you put butter on it. Okay? Make sure you butter that toast. I'm going to go ahead and just use this old sausage thing. I'm taking a big lid. Watch this. Some kids don't like the crust. That's okay. I do, but some kids don't. Take your lid. That's a candle lid because they make it have big ones. And I see my toast. I buttered it, took the crust off, and guess what I'm going to do? I can find the right spoon. I got so many spoons sitting around here. I'm going to take our gravy. I'm going to pour right over that toast just like this. I'm going to tell you when it's really good is in the middle of the night when you're watching TV and you're hungry. Get the leftover gravy out. Don't worry about biscuit. And look. Look. See how good that looks? Oh, you'll love it. Yeah, you don't always have to have a biscuit. So don't think just because the biscuit's gone, the gravy needs to be gone. We're just going to cut this in half. And get my fork. This is for Tanner. Shelly, this is for Tanner. Don't throw the gravy away. You add a fried egg beside that. Tell you what, sometimes it's better than a biscuit because that gravy soaks into that toast. So if you don't like the crust, kids, have your mom save one of these candle lids. Okay, make sure you put butter on your toast. Don't throw that gravy away, Tanner. Oh, at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, be delicious. Look. Absolutely divine. All right. Thanks for hanging in there. Now, everybody can do sausage gravy. You follow my steps. Use your noodle upstairs here. Too thick, add a little. The key to adding, and it's too thick, continuously stir, 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 stir. Too thin, add just a little tiny bit of more flour. Not a lot at a time. A little bit at a time. You'll get the hang of it. Easy peasy. Don't have no biscuits. Don't throw the leftover gravy away. It's delicious on toast. A fried egg with runny fried egg next to that's awesome. Just almost better than biscuits in my opinion. Don't have to worry about this or anything either. This one's for you. Thanks for watching. God bless.